If you're a real estate investor and you love 1031 exchanges, get that out of your head right now, because guess what? I want you to fall out of love with 1031 exchanges because there's something even better out there, and it's way cheaper and can sometimes be way more efficient than your traditional 1031 exchange. So what I'm talking about is the lazy 1031 exchange. And at any time I can do something the lazy way and it still works just as effectively, count me in, because that's the way I'm gonna go. A traditional 1031 exchange is just a way for a real estate investor to sell their property and roll the gains over into a new property. They can actually defer any gains when they do this if they roll it over into a property that's equal or greater in value. Now, there are some time constraints to this. You have to identify in 45 days and you have to close on a property in 180 days. And don't forget, one of the biggest things with 1031 exchanges is some of the caveats and some of the unseen things that go into them, not to mention the high qualified intermediary fees. Doing the lazy 1031 exchange avoids those additional fees, not to mention you have carryover basis issues, which you can actually avoid if done properly with the lazy 1031 exchange. So what is the lazy 1031 exchange? Well, it is really just a play off of passive activity netting, where you can take passive losses and use them to offset your passive gains. And if you have multiple properties, maybe you can do some improvements, or maybe you have losses stemming from different properties. You can use those losses to offset the gain from selling a property. And many real estate investors actually accrue these losses over time. Check out Form 8582 to see how many passive losses you have. This is a very critical component in tax planning that I run through all of my real estate investors, especially if they're looking to dispose of a property, and even more especially if they're looking to do a 1031 exchange, because I know there's additional qualified intermediary and professional fees that go along with the 1031 exchange. The lazy 1031 exchange avoids all of that and is by far my favorite option to look at first before we look at other alternatives.